I am Ajita from Emmanuel College of Education. Today I am going to take the topic from childhood and growing up. It's for first year, the unit 1, growth and development of childhood. Growth defines the quantitative aspects. It is nothing but the size, weight and height of a child. Okay? Changes in the physical growth of the child. It is nothing but the changes in the physical growth of the child. Okay, growth defines the quantitative aspects of a child. It's the changes in the physical growth of the child. There are some characteristics of growth. It is a continuous process. It stops when maturity attains. Height increases until 20 years. Okay, height and increases only until 20 years. Growth depends on one's maturity. Growth depends on one's maturity as well as one's heredity as well as one's environment. Okay. Growth depends on the nourishment given by the parents. Growth depends upon the nourishment given by the parents. Health and mental disposition of the mother during pregnancy is very, very important of a child growth. Health as well as the mental disposition of the mothers during pregnancy is very, very important for a child growth. This is all about growth. The next one is development. Development defines the qualitative aspects. The development defines the qualitative aspects. It is nothing but the intelligence. That is high and low level of intelligence. That is improvement in psychological and mental aspects of a child. Improvements in the psychological and mental aspects of a child. Okay, there are some characteristics for development also. It's a lifelong process. It's continuous throughout the life. Care and concerns of the parents are very, very important. The care and concern of the parents are very, very important for the development of a child. The needs for development may vary from child to child. Needs may vary from child to child. This is all about the growth and development. The next one is principles of growth and development. There are 9 principles are there. There are 9 principles of growth and development. The first one is principles of continuous development. Principles of continuous development. It is nothing but it is a continuous process. The growth and development is a continuous process. We already said that growth is a continuous process, but it stops till maturity attains, but development is a lifelong process. So it is a continuous process. The next one is principle of orderly development. The growth and development develop stage by stage. That growth and development, it is in the orderly process. The next one is principle of unique development. Unique development means the development takes place from infancy stage to adolescent stage. That is from the baby itself, the birth to adolescent stage, the growth and development occurs. The next one is principle of sequential development. Principle of sequential development is the step-by-step development of a child. Okay, the step-by-step development of a child. The next one is principle of interrelated development. The principle of interrelated development, it is like the physical and psychological development of a child. It is the physical as well as the psychological development of a child. The next one is principle of interaction of hereditary and environment. Principles of interaction of heredity and environment. We all know heredity and environment is very, very important for a development and growth of a child. So these heredity and environment are interrelated. The next one is principle of interaction of maturation and learning. That is, when maturity attains, learning occurs. When maturity attains, learning develops. This is about the principle of interaction of maturation and learning. Next one is principle of cumulative developments. It is the connected with different stages. It is a connected between different stages of development. The last one is principle of differential development in the male and female child. We all know the female child mature early when compared to the male child. When female child mature early when compared to the male child. This is about the principles of growth and development. Once again, I repeat the title. Principle of continuous development. principle of orderly development, principle of unique development, principle of sequential development, principles of interrelated development, principles of interaction of hereditary and environment, principles of interaction of maturation and learning, principle of cumulative development, principle of differential development in the male and female child. Next is difference between growth and development. Next is the difference between growth and development. Growth is a quantitative aspect, whereas development is a qualitative aspects. The growth is the aspects of development, but it's the holistic one. Development is the holistic one. That is the physical, mental and psychological development occurs during this development. Okay. The next, it's the aspects of one's body. That is, growth is the aspects of one's body. We all know it's growth is the quantitative aspects of body size, height, weight, etc. Here, development is the aspects of one's mind. It's based on the psychological and mental aspects of a child. Okay. Next, growth stops when an individual attains maturity. That means growth stops when an individual attains maturity. Whereas the development is a continuous process. It continues throughout the life. It continues throughout the life. Growth can be measured, but development cannot be measured. If a child become growth means we can identify his height, weight, etc. But the intelligence cannot be measured. Okay. Likewise, growth can be observed. Development cannot be observed. Development cannot be observed. Okay. Next topic is nature and nurture. That is the impact of nature and nurture of child development. It is nature is nothing but heredity. Nurture is nothing but environment. Okay. Nature and nurture are heredity and environment. It is the impact of nature and nurture on child development. Okay. Its influence, the nature and nurture is very much influenced the growth of a child. Okay. The nature and nurture is very much influenced in the growth of a child. It is like two eyes of a person. This nature and nurture is like two eyes of a person. We all know our eyes is very much important. So it's like two eyes of a person. Sometimes the heredity dominates. Sometimes in the growth of the child or in the development of a child, heredity dominates. But in sometimes environment dominates. Sometimes in the development of a child, heredity dominates. In other time, the environment dominates. Okay. This is all about the nature and nurture of child development. Okay. That there are some principles of heredity. There are 5 principles are there. The first one is principle of like begets like. The principle of like begets like. It is nothing but the child is same as the parent. The principle of child like begets like is nothing but the child is based on the heredity of the mother or father. Okay, it's same as like that of the parent. That is principle of like begets like. The next one is principle of variance. Principle of variance means there may be some difference between in the parents. Okay, there may be some difference between the child and parents. Some child may be long, some parent may be short, like that. There may be simple variance between the child and the parents. This is about the principle of variance. Next is what? Principle of convergence of two life streams. It is nothing but it's like the grandparents or great grandparents. The child like the parents as well as great grandparents. It is like the maybe the child may be like the parents or maybe like the great grandparents. Okay. The next is what? Principle of chance. There may be in this there is a total change in the child. There may the child may not be like the mother or father or grandmother or grandparent. There is a total change in the development of the child. Okay. The last one is principle of dominant and recessive traits. Principle of dominant or recessive traits. It may sometimes the parents may be intelligent, but the children is of average intelligence. This is about the principle of dominant and recessive traits. Sometimes the parents may be intelligent, but in the same times the children may be of average intelligence. This is about the principles of heredity. There will be two traits in the heredity. The first one is physical traits, that is the color of the eyes, the size of the eyes, color, shapes, blood group, etc. It may be like the heredity of the parents or great grandparents. Like that, mental trait means the intelligence and talents in the parents as well as great grandparents. Okay. The last one is environment. The environment is very much important for a child's development. We know the culture of the child is based upon the environment, and also the economic status influence a lot in the development of a child, his intelligence, morality, etc. For this, the environment or nurture is very, very important. That means environment and hereditary are very, very important for the growth of or development of a child. This is all about the first unit, growth and development. Okay, thank you.